Hello. Right, there's a little bit of confusion right now, so if you give me 1 second. Not sure what's going on entirely, but one of my something really weird's going on. Let me just copy the new link and then edit post. Cool. What's going on? Sorry, I'll just be 1 second. I don't know if you can see on my channel that there's like 2 videos that are live right now, and it's super confusing. Well, one of them is not live, one of them is like scheduled, but right, that one. Let me delete it. Right, there we go. Right, cool. So that should hopefully be working now. Let's check one more time. Cool, looks like it's working. Right, so I did a little bit of work off stream, just because I wasn't 100% happy with how last night went. I think I was just a bit tired and wasn't really in the zone for sculpting. Not sculpting, retopologizing. So I didn't do a huge amount. I primarily just filled in the hole here, did the eyes, and filled out this section. Kind of corrected some stuff here. I had like an extra loop that was going this way. Decided against that. There's still quite a few issues with this. It's also a bit bumpy, but that's kind of from the base sculpt itself. So now that I have a clean topology, I will be going in and doing a bit more, doing in a little bit more sculpting, you know, just to finalize the forms. Obviously, in terms of topology, I need to fill in the inside of the eye. I need to model the, is it caruncular? The part inside the eye there. Need to fill that hole in the ear and the mouth as well. I'm not going to do teeth or anything because, again, this guy's not for animation, so you know, it doesn't really matter that he's not got teeth and gums, although I do need to smooth out the topology. We'll also hopefully make a start on UVs, although I'll probably end up coming back to the retopology at some point and fix a few areas. I'm still not 100% sure on the shoulder. I've sent it to some professional modelers because this feels like it'd be easier to weight paint, but it also relies then on polygons kind of doing weird angles to get the clavicle in there, rather than just having the clavicle in topology. So I'll see what the professionals saying, because you know I'm not a production not a production modeler, so it's not something I've done professionally. I don't know what the standard practice for that is. But yeah, so I guess let's get on with it. So model, my high poly, my low poly. Got that guy. Hey man, how's it going? Close up some of these sections. Oh, that's a bit slow. There we go. Yeah, so this bit I'm going to model separate, although I probably should do a little bit of work here. And then this, once I've done the once I've done my whole retopology, I'm going to pull this to have a bit more depth, just so it's actually like folding on itself. A bit big. I've already gone through and like relaxed the you know, really relaxed topology on this, but I sort of go over a few areas, make sure they're clean. Cool. So let's hide you again. So I think for this guy we can just pull him in. I'm going to model the, I think it is Caruncular, the name of it. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. In fact, let me just check. My anatomy. Caruncle? Caruncular, yeah, I thought so. Monkey. Yeah, I think modeling it separate would be good. So let's pull that back. I'm just going to extrude it in for now. Extrude it back. Is there a way to do like a half shrunk from make circular? Apparently not. I could do a blind shape, but nah, that's too much. Let's do. Do one more of that. There might be a trick to do this, I'm not entirely sure what it is, if there is one. There we go. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. just going to end up relaxing this in. Hey Francisco. Nope, that's not the one. Where's average verts? To vertices. I'm not really worrying too much about what the inside of the eye is like. I just want something to kind of fill that gap. Same's going to happen with the mouth as well. Although really I should delete half the model first. Cool. Mouth. Oh. Hey Oscar. Let's try circularizing this. Although this is going to be weird. It's going to have to do... Can it do a semicircle? No, it doesn't. Okay. Mirroring the topology just to do this seems a bit of a waste, but this is what I need to do. There we go. Going to fix this area of mouth as well, because that's absolutely ruined. Oh, interesting. Merge radius. That's better. Cool. Now I can circularize this. Are you drunk? Circularize. It's really confused and I don't know why. I mean, I can manually circularize it, but it seems a bit excessive. Let's quickly fix this guy. Fine, let's delete that entirely. So what happens if I do this? Horrible things happen if I do that. I'll be fixing the shape in a sec, don't worry. So we can now get rid of this guy. So now if we try edit edge flow, something's really confusing this section. I'm not entirely sure what it is. It must be like a hidden vert somewhere that's really playing havoc. Let's try not edge run. Average vert again. That was a better job at this. Maybe there's a better way to do this. Let's try deleting these guys. I'm going to delete half the model again, because I don't really trust the show. Let's. This edge is still open too. Normals in this area must be really bad. I can just do that, but that's cool, man. Yeah, I haven't really haven't done any cloth shading for a long time, but I'm glad I wrote that little paper thing. It's turned out to be really helpful for a lot of people. That's why it's broken. Right, so let's try it now. Could just do that. So I only need to close the mouth. Add some generic volume behind it. Loop there. Inflate it. Now we have closed lips. Some horrible pinching. This area's gonna need some serious fixing. It makes sense, it's just because it's not level. Do I fix it now or do I fix it in ZBrush? So what I'll be doing is I'll UV this with like basic UVs, but then I'll take it back into ZBrush, do some sculpting, then come back and unfold it once I've finished sculpting, and then import that back in and blah blah blah, back and forth basically. It just means that when I'm doing the final export, it isn't like completely broken. Let's pump you out a bit, and then I'm fine with them intersecting in this area. I shouldn't be, but I am. Right, so let's go from you to you. Now I can extrude it back. Now it works. Cool. Some edit edge flow will fix that area later. There we go, much better. Kind of shows all the issues of my topology density in this area. That should ideally be a lot kind of flatter. I love this. Right, okay, so let's do that. And grab you to you. Do that. Good. That area's a bit gross. Let's try playing you back. Just check what that's doing. I wish there was a way to like set. There probably is a way to set the pivot to be like world X. My internet connection keeps breaking up. So you, could you do the stuff you did in Nuke also substance design now? What stuff are you talking about exactly? The stuff in Nuke? I assume you're talking about the cloth textures that I made, but it's been like 4 years, man. I can't remember exactly what I did. Workflow in mind. A couple years ago, I think about 4 years ago now, I did a research paper on cloth maps and like how to get the most out of cloth. Basically, do you know the texturing XYZ maps that are out for microfabric? I did that shortly before they released theirs. I didn't know they were working on them. And that's why if you go onto the texturing XYZ website, look on their tutorials for microfabric. I'm the person who made their tutorials because I had already made the same product they made. So they just thought, have me make a tutorial for them since I already knew exactly how the system worked. No one copied anyone else. It just so happened that I was friends with Jeremy Celeste on Facebook. I posted my research project, and he was like, "Oh, Texturing XYZ is doing this too," and so we ended up working together. When you combine different IDs into one texture map, you should be able to do that in Designer. It should. I think it's called. It might be called Shuffle in that as well. Basically, all you need is for. All you need is for each like direction, like warp and weft, to be in its own channel. So, if you make a black and white map, you could even do it with merges. You could literally merge the color red into a map using whatever you want to be in the red channel as the mask, and that would put it in. Then merge blue as a separate thing. It's literally just a case of having each map be a different channel. You, in theory, could do that in any tool. Oh, negative weights. Let's turn negative weights off now. Well, not negative weights, that's not the right word at all. This is going to need some serious cleaning up. And then you are going to need some serious cleaning up too. And I need to turn negative scale back on. I always turn negative scale off just a bit too early. Can you link the paper? Sure. If you go onto my website, MikeCauchiArt.com, and go into tutorials. You've got the Texturing XYZ ones, which was published on February 8th, and then you've got my original research paper, which was January 23rd. It was literally 2 weeks between me and Texturing XYZ releasing the exact same thing, which is really funny. I beat them to it though, so I'm taking that credit. But yeah, so this is the paper. It was a student project that I did. Again, about 4 years ago at this point, but it just goes through how you can make realistic cloth and the different methods of which you can make your own microfabric maps. This is like one of the final outputs of the map. Talks about how the shading works, like what Fresnel is, what anisotropy is, because my uni didn't really know anything about look dev. How to build the shader, so this is the final shader I came out with, and then the use of fur for cloth. And then the final output, which was like these different cloth balls, which were just using one shader. And yeah, just getting what I could out of it. There's also 2 videos explaining the process, so I'll put that in the chat. Oh, you've read it before? Cool. But yeah, I released it quite a while ago now. I also haven't checked the comments in years. There's a 2-year-old comment that I never got to reply to, so apologies to that guy. Oh, you still have those maps? That's cool, man. Yeah, I'm going to be taking them down soon. The map, like the actual copy of the maps, just because I want to delete my Dropbox account. But since Texture SOZ released theirs, there's not really much point in my maps being out there. And that's the thing, like, I released that project, but I'm not claiming that people have stolen the idea from me, because they haven't. The idea is relatively novel, or was relatively novel, but it wasn't, like, groundbreaking. So, what do you call it? So I'm just forgetting the words. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, like no one's stolen it. People might have seen it and got inspired by it to like make their own versions, but I mean, I put the research paper out for free, so I don't really care if people take it. It's irrelevant to me. I genuinely don't care. Let's. Cool. And then let's shoot that back more. And then shoot back some more. And I can end it around there, I guess. So let's just pull that in a bit. Cool. And I think back here, I can just fill that. Will it be able to? No, it won't. So I have to mirror this over before I fill that hole. Let's try something there. Okay. I think my internet dropped out for a split second then, but it should be back on now. Not the thing I'm doing at the moment. I'm just gonna grab that and extrude it a bit more. Just to get it down with this smoother look. Cool. So, let's leave that as it is. Inside of the ear, and then I think all the holes are closed. I don't need to, I can just use fill hole and triangulate on the bottom and top. Which is probably what I'll do. And then I'm just going to fill this hole as well. And then how many edges are in there? 25, that's an awkward count. Do that. Right, so try this triangulator. Now let's just pick two random edges. The flow doesn't matter. Although let's make it at least vaguely symmetrical. Obviously that's going diagonally, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Alright, way off. Let's connect this one and that one. It's an odd number, so I'm not going to be able to get it to be perfect, but so to edges 13, 12. Alright, that's the closest I'm going to get. Let's start patching. If I can have one triangle rather than a whole bunch, I guess that's better. It's pretty gross though. But then we're never going to see inside the ears. Strictly speaking, I could leave this hollow, but I'd rather make it have some volume. Let's go to that. And then let's grab you, go across to you. Yeah, that makes a quad. I'm not sure I can make quads the whole way around though, can I? That's disgusting though. I'm gonna take you to there. And then that's a bit better. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really don't like that. That is not pleasant to look at. Oop. Oh, negative weights. I keep calling negative weights, I don't know why. Also, this mouse is insanely sensitive. Or this viewport camera even. Alright, let's just extrude it and scale it and merge faces to center. No one will care. Do that. Add the edge flow. Add the edge flow on you. I'm sure there's going to be a few people unhappy with that. Alright, so let's mirror this guy. First off, make sure that he is zeroed. Cool. Zero that in the X. There we go. Thought it wasn't. Grab you, mirror. Looks like it's doing okay. Cool. Just grab you, extrude. Merge. Oh, that's not what I want. That is what I want actually. Cool. And then I think I might extend the arm, just because it's not that long. Like, even in the renders that I've done, like it's still like visibly ending, and I'm kind of fine with that, to be honest. The focus is the face and the groom, but yeah, it'd be nice to have something that at least continues off screen. So let's get that. Let's grab you as well. I'm just going to extrude it kind of arbitrarily further. Not like that. Okay. Grab both sides. Extrude. Push it a little bit and then I'm going to do it manually from there. Cool. Great paper. Thank you. Thank you very much. Right, so now we can mesh tools, edit mesh, symmetrize. No? Okay, let me alt save. Okay, edit mesh, symmetrize. Okay, so edit mesh, symmetrize. Mesh is not symmetrical. Bullshit. I just mirrored it. This is the problem now of merge them in the middle. Okay, so let's just, I'm going to fix this in ZBrush. Perfect. It's beautiful. Absolutely no issues. So I feel like I should probably flatten the bottom of this as well. Just turn off. I do stream after finishing work at MPC, yeah. Alright, so let's, since mirroring's apparently doing something to the topology, let's mirror it the old-fashioned way. Looks like it's not merged anything I didn't want it to, which is good. So now, small thing. Although I can probably do that after. Yeah, I'll do that after. Okay, so mesh. Let's get you. So let's set to face. Unlock normals, set to face. Fatal error. Beautiful. love how oversized this crash log is. Alright. So it did set it to face, cool. So let's grab you. Mesh display, soften edge. There we go. So obviously we're going to have to sculpt the arms to fix those. I think they should be going further down, to be honest, but we can fix that. Is it worth blocking out UVs before that? I guess so. Even if it does position the cuts. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. So, for this project, I'm going to use UV sets. So rather than do scalps for grooming, I feel like he'd be a bit tricky to do scalps for, just because he's a furry creature. He's not just the top of a head. So what I mean by that is the skin on the arm. This is kind of where it comes down to interpretation, and since I'm my own art director on this one, I'm gonna go with interpreting this in a certain way. So the skin is painted, has quite a lot of nice breakup in the brushes, and it alludes to a bumpy skin, all that sort of stuff. It feels quite detailed. The body feels super flat, and obviously that's because Sam Rowan, the guy who painted this, that's because he wanted this to the face to be the focus. But because I'm doing a CG image, I want to kind of sell everything with an equal level of polish. So I'm going to cover the body in like a fine layer of fur, which will remove all details. So it will have detail, but it won't be skin details. It won't be regular organic breakup. It'll be fur, and that would allow I can follow the brush strokes for flow. Maybe I can get some short clumpy stuff, but I just want to cover the body in fairly featureless white fur. That white fur is going to be an absolute nightmare to render. I have no idea how to do white fur in RenderMan, so we'll have to see if we can do anything on that. Maybe I have to do some hacky stuff, I don't know. I'll reach out to some people. But yeah, so that's the way I'm going to interpret it. Because of that, I can't really use scalps. If I did, I'd have to use a full body scalp. So I'm going to make use of UV sets. So for the... let's name the objects. So let's delete you. We got high poly body, so I'm just going to call this body geo. Drag you into there. Cool. So isolate you again. UVs. In fact, actually, let's go to the actual UV editing. Okay, so I did some super quick like block out UVs off stream. Just there's an issue with the new versions of Maya where if you're running high-end Ryzen, or I think just any of the new series of Ryzen CPUs, the Unfold 3D tool isn't working, plugin isn't working. So I had to kind of off stream. I installed a new version of Maya and added the environment variable to get Unfold 3D working. So let's reproject this. Mapping, project Z, UV sets. So I have map 1. So map 1 is the default. In the case of XGen, I don't know the technical reasons why. I do need to look into it, but strictly speaking, you should have your XGen on map 1, which means I can't use UDIMs in this map 1. I'll create a second UV set, sorry. I wish NPC would do an in-depth tutorial on how they did Rachel in Blade Runner, maybe like start to finish. Hey, did you actually work on that project? That project was finished before I even got to NPC, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I know for sure I didn't work on it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I didn't work on that, but maybe it was just running while I was there. I don't know, to be honest. But yeah, so where is it? So yeah, I'm going to do my XGen UVs, which are all in one UDIM in map 1, and then I'll create a second UV set called like texture UVs or something, and that can be in UDIMs. I'll be using Mari, which the non-commercial version is limited to 6 UDIMs of 4K. So I'll get to use up to about here in UDIMs, which is fine for a body. not necessarily the full amount you would use sometimes, but it'll work. So let's just do, let's get the UV tool, 3D cut and sew, and I'm just going to cut this guy. Let's go with, there will do. Cool. I'm gonna have to cut the neck. Cool. Let's separate front and side. Something like that will do. For the ears, this is going to get quite tricky. I'll separate the face first, so let's do that loop. Cool. I feel like if I'm going to do that, I should really separate the jaw in some way. I could just do that, but it's a bit gross, although it kind of works, so let's do that. I can go in later and minimize the cuts. And then let's cut down the middle of the back. Let's cut around the ear. So let's go with, So obviously you want to minimize cuts that would overlap grooms. Because I'm going to, oh, come on. There we go. Because I'm going to be having a groom that's at the front here to get like the strays, I'm going to try to separate the section just so I don't have to have the same groom bleeding across two edges. Anytime you have a UV seam, you're going to have some issues relating to interpolation, whether it's the maps or the guides. I can't remember if the guides, I don't think the guides are directly affected. But I do know that, come on. Cool. So let's cut the ear in the middle. Oh, that's going to cut that section as well. Let's cut you. Let's not cut you. Let's cut you. What else? Let's cut across here. Kind of weird. But it would separate the areas I want to separate. I feel like maybe we should move this hairline one back to like here. Follow along.
You alright?
Hello. Yeah.
The stream. Pardon?
How goes?
Not too bad.
The UV?
Yeah, just figuring out the UVs for the oh, what's the name of it? For the fur UVs. I think what I'll do is I'll delete half the model, and once I finish UVing it, delete half the model and manage that. Oh, I used to use a UV layout as well, headless UV layout, right? Yeah, it's it's simultaneously the worst and best tool at the same time. It's kind of incredible. I dig it completely. There we go. This area is not going to work. I could cut back here. Well, how does that loop go? Yeah, let's do that. That might work a little bit better. And I can just cut across there. Let's cut there. Nope. I guess that's the place to go. Maybe it's worth cutting like that instead. I have no idea how that will unfold, but we can have a look, and then we're going to need to cut you out. So basically, I think it's the new series Ryzen, so the 3000 series. Basically, when you try to run, what's the word? When you try to run Unfold 3D, the plugin in Maya. Well, it's a plugin in Maya now. It didn't used to be. Yeah, when you run Unfold 3D, you get like an error that just says unable to process or something along those lines. I can't remember exactly what it was. So I spent today kind of finding out the fix for that. If anyone has that problem, oh well, Francisco, you said you had that problem. Let me find the post that I read through. What was the name of it? Unfold 3D process error. And it was this one. So you have to update to the latest version of Maya. Update to the latest version of Maya, which is like 19.31. Actually, yeah, 19.31. And then once you're on there, that's not what I want. 1 second. Come on. There we go. Yeah, and then once you're on the new version, go into there it is. So let's open live stream. So Francisco, basically you have to install the newest version of Maya, which is 13.1, Maya 2019 3.1. go to the Maya.csh file, which basically just tells Maya what plugins you're using and all that sort of stuff, and just paste that line in there. And that uses a different version of 3D, Unfold 3D that's like specifically for the new Ryzens. I think it's something to do with the power of the new Ryzens. Like they're a bit intense, like the amount of multi-threading you need for them. Although Xeons don't have the issue, so maybe it's not down to multi-threading. Right, so we obviously need to take care of this somehow. Should I just cut the jaw off? I feel like I should just sew that on, but it's not going to unfold properly. Let's give it a go. So I'm just going to, is there a way for me to mirror this? Yeah, let's go for it. So exit tool, go into this guy. Let's delete half the model. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Cool. So let's get that working. UV, unfold, unfold. Fix non-manifold. Where could that be? What are you doing? Oh, did the merge earlier break this? The nice thing about UVing is sometimes it helps you find issues. Oh, it probably did, didn't it? You're a problem. Right, so that's him fixed. Can you like chill? There's another face behind there, isn't there? You. I think that's it. So now what? What is it I'm looking for? What is going on? Right, so you can stay out here. You can merge to him. Yep, they can merge. And you can merge to him, I guess. Yep, they can merge, that's fine. I'm going to delete half them all up before I continue doing this. Cool, and then you need to merge to him. Cool. So let me just move and so. Cool. So next one, you. Just delete these faces. That vert needs to go to you, right? Okay, so I can connect that myself, I think. That's not what I did. Confusion. So much confusion. It would help if the camera wasn't so damn sensitive as well. Let's see, you didn't exist. I think. No more sequence to undo. Alright, let me just load the last save. Which was the crash log, actually. Recent files. How recent was this one? That was over half hour ago. I'm not loading that. Let me just find this. So, this PC. C drive users. Just searching for the file. No items match your search. Please. This is probably why I should have modeled this properly.
What?
Oh,
the mic.
I've had I think I merged vertices earlier, and it's merged some verts in here, and it just got completely confused, and it's a mess to look at. Like, I have no idea where any of this goes.
A boy.
Yeah, no, right. Like, legit no clue where some of these should go. I believe these should be merged. Because they seem to connect next to each other. Oh, come on, camera. Please, have mercy. Let's change the camera. I think they should be next to each other. And what about you? Should you be merged with these guys? I think it should, because they seem to come from the same vert. Let me try this. Ooh, that helps. Yeah, they should be connected. Okay. I think. Might be wrong. I'm filled with so much hatred for this camera right now. Let's just nuke it. How are you still connected? That should not have been so hard. I've lost not too much. Right, so let's get... Oh, they've merged as well. Are you kidding me? I'm just going to go back to the old file. If I lose a bit of UVing, I'll lose a bit of UVing. Ah, that's how far back we are. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's prior to... Okay, this is before me starting to cut everything. And that's the cuts I went with last time, which I'm looking at again, I'm not 100% sure on. I do not want this. So edit edge flow. I'm gonna use the fuck out of edit edge flow right now, just so it can help me figure out what the hell is going on in this area. I think that's where the confusion is coming from. Apparently not, because there's another edge further down. So they're closed. Yeah, I'm going to grab these guys. I'm going to grab. Where's that going? Okay, so this loop, and that loop. Convert that to verts and average. That should open the mouth slightly. It doesn't open the mouth slightly. Actually does the opposite. Did I accidentally invert the mouth? Is this mouth upside down on the inside? It is! Oh, right, okay. So that's why it's so confusing. Okay. Which means what I need to do is disgusting. Let's delete half of them all because we're going to delete it anyway. Right. Yeah, that's what it's doing, totally. I should have turned off two-sided lighting to make it easier to see. Yep, there we go. Okay, so easiest way to fix that is to grab all this. Oh, that's going to be horrible. Have I tried my 2020? No, I haven't actually. To be honest, I didn't even know it was out. Right. This time it'll work. Except the mouth's going the wrong way. But I can deal with that. Come on, I selected an edge. You should be going with it. Hello. What are you? Hello. Okay. Lots of confusion. So, let's try that again this time. Okay, so now I can really drive these again. I'm gonna have to inflate that back. At least now it's the right way up. Ooh. Okay, maybe I should have checked before. Today's a very productive day. Okay, so this time let's not select. I guess they have to be, don't they? Oh, of course. Just inverting the shape. Nope. So, let's grab you. I'm just going to proxy this. It's amazing how mistakes can like unfold. Actually, let's not do that one. So this obviously started off with me inflating the mouth just a bit too far. Why are you not snapping? There we go. Let's pivot that. And then let's go one loop at a time. And the edge loop. Should I just do the math again? Let's just do the math again. Such an annoying setback. Unless can I undo far enough? Cannot. So, first off, let's just do this. Just fix the things on the model that we know we need to fix first. Turn off negative weights. Cool, fix that later. Delete half the model. Right, so save. So this is the one with the mouth still the wrong way. So I don't know why I didn't think of this first time, to be honest. Bridge. So I need to invert the normals in this guy. Turn off. Where is it? It's in lighting, two-sided lighting. Okay. So now bridge those two. Still reversing? Oh, it's because. There we go. Don't know why I didn't think of that first time. So now I can just do that. Apparently not. Oh wait, no, that's not going to work either. There's a different number of polygons. Thanks, Maya. I can't blame Maya for that. That was me messing up. But that's fine. So next idea. That's confusing. Time to delete the inside of math. So let's not make the same mistake this time. It's good to learn from mistakes. Not good to make the same one over and over. Let's fix this corner before I get into I don't know if there's a way to change the camera sensitivity. I could scale the character temporarily. Oh, let's do that. Oh, of course. So this is only temporary. It's just to make my camera, relatively speaking, less sensitive. There's probably a way to do it, but I don't know it. Gonna move the edges closer. Oh, actually, yeah, it's not overlapping anymore. Come on, stop doing that. There we go. There we go. Relax, maybe. That'll do. So let's just try this just to double check. It's going to wait this time. Cool. And back again. Nope. Keep forgetting to turn that back on. That's not what I want. Right, so that'll do. Now this time the mouth's the right way. Pinching a bit. but that's not too big of a deal. I can sculpt that out because, as I said, we'll be placing the cuts, then sculpting it, and then bringing it back into Unfold it again, just so everything's like, you know, not too stretched. So I need to fill that hole again now. Oh, actually, I can't do that. That's because it's not mirrored yet. So let's start the cut tool again. UV, so let's plane map it. Well, unless I can just now let's start mapping again. So mapping Z UV. Cool. So let's cut this about here. Cut you about there. Cut the torso in the same place. The neck, I think we ended up deciding with there, right? Cool. Let's cut there. Then cut. Where's that going? Oh, that's a new one. I don't want that though. I want somewhere like there. Nah, I don't want to do that. Just kind of experimenting at the moment. Oh, save, yeah. Good shout. See, I want to cut along this, but I also don't. It's kind of hard to figure out exactly what I want, to be honest. Nope. Cool. And then cut inside there. Is that the inside of the eye? That is, yeah, that's the inside of the eye. Cool. So I just need to cut here now. Let's go with there. my UVs. Okay, so it has cut, so why can't I see them in my UV editor? There we go. Beautiful. Unfold. Layout. That's fine, I guess. Let's do an actual layout. Align to why is it using legacy? Cool, so that's map 1. We just need to mirror this and sew it. And so I'll do map 2. So let's create a second UV editor. Can I copy that to new set? Alright, yeah, just saw it. UV set editor, grab you, copy. And this one, let's call it texture UVs. Cool. Update, close. Let's go with UV editing. So UV sets, cool. So texture UVs, let's project this from the front again. Cuts can go mostly in the same place, to be fair. I can just be a bit more liberal with them this time. Although maybe it's worth just laying it out different. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to mirror this guy now. Perfect. It's because the group is scaled to 10 still, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay, just like this. Oi, nice model. Thanks, Freeman. So let's mirror this guy. Cool, and then let's unfold these again. Cool, so now what I can do is go to texture, UVs. I have no idea if this UV tool just takes whatever you're currently using. Let me just double check. Why and how do you use UV sets? Why is, it depends on what pipeline you're using. In my case, I want to, sorry, let me just do this for a sec. There we go. Although we can get away with not having that. So in my case, I want to do a groom that covers the whole body. So I don't really want to do scalps. So adding UV sets complicates things a little bit because when you export an OBJ file, it doesn't support UV sets. It just exports with whatever the currently selected UV set is. So you have to keep track of what you're exporting, where and why. Your map 1 is the default UV set that Maya uses. So when you're using the paint tool, when you're grooming, it uses map 1. So that's why I'm making sure that map 1 will stay in the first UDIM. The second UV set, I'm free to do whatever I want. So I can have one model with 2 different sets of UVs, one that the groom uses, that stays in one UDIM, and one that everything else uses, which goes across multiple UDIMs. And I can cut different places, I can do whatever I want. I'll show you kind of how you set that up, probably in one of the later streams. But it is quite easy. There's normally a node for it. That should be that done now. Let me just double check. One sec, my brain is stuck. So let's go into UV, unfold. There we go, that's better. So this can be my, I want to make it symmetrical, which I need to double check how to do because I can't remember. And then what I can do now is go into my texture UVs, which still have those cuts back in them. And that might be fine for the texture UVs. You know, maybe I do want to keep the chest in two separate pieces. For grooming, you can't use UDIMs directly. It depends on the tool you're using. I'm pretty sure Yeti supports UDIMs, but XGen, although XGen itself probably supports UDIM. Oh, fuck you. One second. That's made me worried about other parts of the model. So let me just quickly go through. Oh, there it is. It's on the inside of the mouse, so I'm not too worried about losing any cuts, any geometry in that. I can just fill it back in and do it. But yeah, so you can't really use UDIMs in grooming most of the time. So having a UV set allows you to not have the UDIMs, but not also have to carry another model with you. I've never done it in an XGen pipeline, so I have no idea if this will work, to be honest. But we'll find out. So that's this guy. So let's go into UV console. Let's at least merge the face. And then I might cut the chest. I might keep the chest cut, just so I can get better, well, potentially better packing on it. Maybe I can cut the arm in half, because I'm going to be using, I want to separate the UDIMs as much as possible for this guy. So let's unfold this guy now. Okay, and let's get the UV shell. So I'm allowed 6 UDIMs. So I'm just going to make as much use of this as I can. So that's the back of the head. So is there a way to pack it into UDIMs? They are not the correct scale. Okay, so let's lay out UVs. Preserve. I want to scale these. Am I on? I am on Unfold. Maybe I should be on Legacy for this. Prescale to world. That's not gonna work. Unfold. Packing region. Okay, let's try something else. Let's go into UV shell, grab these guys, lay them out. Let's not do it like that though. Lay out UV. One tile. And I can move that, let's just say there. And then I can select the two arms, lay those out, and then I can move those. Let's just move them to random squares for now. Let's get the back, lay those out. And then not be using 4 UDIMs, so maybe that's okay. I don't need to use all the UDIMs. So let's transform scale. So now they're all the same scale, in theory. So let's try layout UVs. There's a way for me to turn off scaling. Off. There we go. Alright, cool. I feel like that's stretched. Apparently not. Okay. So that's one here. Is that the same side? No, it's a different side. Maybe over that way. That's the back of the head. Maybe I should sew the back of the head on. That doesn't feel like it's unfolded properly. Let's try that again. So. Cool. So let's get the inside of the eyes. Let's get the inside the mouth, I guess. And then him I can scale. I don't really care about him. That's the left side, so I'm going to try to keep that on the left side. Is that his left or my left? Okay, so my left. That's his right. That's his right. padding, let's do a 10 pixel padding. Cool. Back of the head. So that's 6 UDIMs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. Let's check the. Okay, so that's even textile density. So let's scale them all down. These are way too big, I know that much. It's been a really long time since I do these. So let's crank this guy up. Hello. Why are you like that? To faces, to contain faces, playing a map. Mapping, there it is. Beautiful. The texel density isn't perfect, but it's close enough for me to not worry too much. I've got more on the face. Oh, really, I should do it properly. If there's any professional modelers in the stream, do let me know what your approach to this sort of stuff is. I'm wondering if I should separate the neck as well. If I cut this. That does seem to mess up the unfolding a bit. Let's try cutting that. Why are these the wrong way around? Maybe it's worth temporarily sewing the front of these guys together. Not that. Thanks for doing this as part about 3D. Really brings light into the complication and frustration tunnel of 3D for me. People are working very high. Share that knowledge. Yeah, so well, I'm trying to make them more uniform, so I don't have to worry too much about that. There we go. Layout. But yeah, so strictly speaking, they should all be the same size. A small amount doesn't technically matter that much, but it's still worth us making sure they're the correct size relative to each other. So that's 22. So he's now set to the correct size, although he doesn't fit here, so maybe I can put him in here. I don't know if it's possible to make UVs symmetrical within a certain tile. I don't know if it can detect that. Let me just turn this on. So how rotated does he have to be straight? That's disgusting. So I don't know if them facing up is particularly important. Let's go with 24. Or if it just matters that they're in the right place or in the right scale. Because that's making more use of the space. This Udin, for example, is incredibly inefficient. Although they are the correct scale, texel-wise. The arms are too small. Let's get the texel from the back. Actually, let's sew these edges too. So if we get one of these guys, so let's go with front get set. They're just so much bigger than everything else. I've already got the 6 Udams. I think you just have to have these smaller. Let's see how much you can get out of them. And is it possible to make this symmetrical? Let me just quickly check something. Maya symmetrical UVs. Although I'm not really going to be able to get them symmetrical actually, because that would require it being super small. One thing I will do though is the head should be bigger in this. So because this isn't really going to be used in the same way that everything else is used. And what I mean by that is, one second, let me just figure something out. Okay, let's set all these to the same. Get, set. So now they're all the same size. Let's make him bigger. And then lay these out. Obviously, because the head needs more detail in the maps. I have a question about Marvel Designer. When you import your garment, it still comes out split into different garment parts. How do you combine them into one geo? And split them up by the UVs. I'm not sure what you mean by and then split them up by the UVs, because the UVs are already split, and if you want to split objects by UVs, then it's already split that way. Is that the same ratio it was? To texture them in Substance Painter. You should merge them into one object. Really, you should retopologize them. There's plenty of videos out there. It's not something that I will be going into for this character. That's not doing what I want it to. Let me try Legacy. Freescale. Just UV. There we go.
Just UV.
Yeah, so this is my fur UV set.
Whew. Should I close this door so
Just go down just a tiny bit. Alright, so that's better. And then my other UV set for UDIMs.
No.
And moving some edges. That's not what I want. Can you stop fucking doing that?
No.
No.
Yeah. So you know my mum's friend with the baby? That was a while. So they actually they raised like a grand.
Uh-huh.
And they gave quite a lot to the nurses. So they went and bought them, you know, like loads of stuff because they're obviously all kind of stuck in work.
That's nice. Cool. So this guy is bigger in the UVs, which isn't ideal, but it allows me to get more use of the texture space, which I prefer. There's quite a lot of wasted space in this, really. I should spend more time packing it, but I think for the purposes I want to use these for, this is fine. So I've got my different UVs now. And then what I can do is I'm going to fill that hole on the inside of the mouth and then just like shove it in the corner, because I don't care what it's doing. Just fill a hole. Shoot face. Then merge face to center. Cool, that's that. And let's map that. And that can just hide in a little corner somewhere. Cool. And then let's do the same with the arms. Fill a hole. What happens if I triangulate this rather than let's not do it like that. Fill a hole. Cool. And one more to fill. Fill hole. What's sorry? This one can go with you. If I render triangulated meshes, what are the biggest drawbacks of not retopoing them? Shading issues? If the end result would be a still image, would it matter that much? So I've rendered decimated meshes before. You can get away with it, but if your meshes are just purely triangulated, it can be quite hard to UV them. If you don't want to do textures, then technically no, there's nothing wrong with doing it that way. It is good to learn how to do it properly. Like by the sounds of things, you're quite new to visual effects. Like by the you said earlier on, like you're quite new. So I recommend really getting familiar with the tools. Learn the whole process. Learn as much as you can before you start taking shortcuts. Like I take shortcuts now on some projects that I do, like the previous projects I did. I just use ZBrush and auto UVs. But I've been doing this now for 8 years, so I don't need to learn the techniques to get a job or anything like that. So if you're new and you want to get into the industry, it's good to start practicing the techniques that you would use in industry. Granted, it's good to practice from time to time, which is why I've done this guy as a retopo now. But ultimately, I can take shortcuts if I want to from time to time, but I wouldn't recommend you do. Mesh display, soften edge. But technically, there's not many drawbacks other than the UVing. Like, strictly speaking, there's not much wrong with it, but it's just not ideal. Alright, so we've got our UV'd model now. From here, we could start grooming or we could start texturing. I'm going to go into texturing and sculpting just because I want to make sure that the shape is final. The arms are going to change a lot, obviously. So what I can do from here, thanks, no problem, man. So what I can do from here is I've got map 1, which is my fur UVs, which I need to clean these up on actually. So let me just cut. In fact, let's just go around and select them all first. That's not comforting to see. So let's grab him. Grab him. Inside of the eyes were fine. Inside of the mouth he's doing as well. Cut. Then UV shell. Select you. Select you. Select you. Select you. Mapping. Planar. Unfold. Unfold. And then let's just grab all of them. What are you? It's weird. But yeah, anyway. it's important that all your geometry is in the UV set. If you're making a fur UV set, make sure that every piece of the object that you're putting the groom on is contained. It is quite important. And let's grab... Where are these coming from? Okay, so what I'm going to do, because I seem to be finding like loads of little, so as detailing the ZBrush, I'll put pure texturing. I haven't decided on what I want to do in texturing for displacement yet. I do have some texturing XYZ face maps, but for humans, so maybe I can use those for some skin pores. But most of the detailing, I'll probably find some alphas in ZBrush. Yeah, so, okay. Let me select this guy. And let's go in mesh, clean up, and then select matching polygons. Select all quads, and then invert that. And so I need to sew that. That's fine. That's fine to exist. So you look like a quad. There it is. I don't know where these vertices came from. Mesh. Clean up. Is there an Angons? Ah, there we go. Mesh. Clean up. Where though? Ooh. I don't see any Angons though. I don't see any smoothing arrows either. Why are my UVs still not symmetrical?
Is it inside the mod?
Yeah, but it's kicking up errors where they shouldn't be. Let's try that again. Mesh, clean up. Mesh. Cool, so we can't find any now. That's good. Cool, that's fine. So, sculpting. Let's get some relaxed brush going. And symmetry, world X. Just relax this. Let's not relax that one. Why is relax so janky on triangles? So this stuff we're gonna have to fix now. Or we can fix it in sculpting, which I think will be better actually. So let's check in for random cuts from deleting those vertices earlier. Oh, it's because unfold. And back to map 1. Cool. So when exporting an OBJ for this guy, because I want to sculpt on the version with UDIMs, I need to make sure that I have this UV set selected. When I'm grooming, I need to make sure that map 1 is on, just so there's no confusion, because I can always set textures to use this UV set. So we got this guy. Let's get file, export, export selection, and then let's go to model, via and body 01, geo. Body, oh wait, so body, texture, UVs, 01. The 01 is just because I'm going to do versions of this, and the geo is just because, well, that's what the name of the mesh is. Although technically I should put body underscore geo, something like that. Body underscore geo underscore texture UVs underscore 01. Cool. Well, that's fine. So that's going to save this. So I'm going to have to sculpt the arms quite a lot. Where's the Wacom? Is the Wacom on the floor over there? Oh no, it's over there. Okay, so let's open a file. CG stuff, projects, personal projects, and Rowan study. Model, ZBrush exports, scenes, version 10. Cool, so that's that. And then, so let's get my Wacom so I can start sculpting some stuff. Cool. So which one is the one we want to use? Not this one. I'm just going to import on top of this. My exports. There we go. So now what I need to do is start projecting. But obviously we can't project everywhere because this area has nothing to project to. Inside the mouth has nothing to project to. Let's also check if we have our UVs ported in. Let's go to UV master, use existing UV seams, flatten. And yeah, it's upside down, but that's, or it's inverted, but that's fine, that's how it works. Oh, it's not inverted, the scene's inverted. There we go. Yeah, so they are upside down, but that's fine. That's what ZBrush does. So let's go Z plugin and flatten. So we know we got our UVs. Save this scene as version 11. Let's pick a color from this guy. In fact, actually, let's have a different color for a bit. So smooth once. And what I'm going to do is just mask where I want to project details. So for now, let's hide everything that isn't what we immediately wanted to see. Cool. And then solo this. I could technically just re-sculpt it, but I don't want to do that. In fact, does smoothing get rid of... I think I need to get rid of the mask to smooth again. I do, right, okay. So let's smooth it at this level. So what I'm going to end up spending a lot of time doing in this is fixing artifacts, because basically what I'm going to have to do is project as much detail as I can. Once I've got to a point where I can't really get any more details out of it, I need to make sure that I go through fix any artifacts in the mesh where it's like projected and like stuck to the wrong place. Once I've done that, I can take it back into Maya with its new shape, because naturally the polygons will be in slightly different positions. So I can take it back in. Once I've taken it back in, I just have to unfold the UVs again, just because the shape will be slightly different. Although you can get away with not doing that, I'd rather just do it. And that allows me then to, what's the word, get like better details out of my displacement maps and all that jazz. You like jazz? Let's do that. So we see how we've lost quite a lot of detail in this area. Although really we should smooth it once at a time. Tedious. Or I could just store a morph target. I thought that would work. So let's go in. It's divided once. Yeah, let me just import it back in. So delete higher, import. Cool, and then divide. Although that will have matching topology. Okay, subtool. Append, sphere, import. Cool. So now if I smooth it twice, and then this is going to break a lot of stuff, but if I store a morph target, and then what I can do is just project it now. So subtool, project. Do I want to get the poly paint? No, I don't. Cool. So that will break some areas, but that's fine. Cool, so let's smooth that one more time and project it again. Although I don't know if smoothing again would have got rid of the morph target, so. So let's see if that works. So go back to the morph target, morph brush. Okay, so I have to do it on this level.
I've never been prouder of a shader.
Oh really?
I've accidentally created.
What's good about it?
You want to see it?
I should be doing this with symmetry turned on. 1 second. What?
So I love that you're doing like collision.
Oh, that's nice.
The jumper.
That's really good.
The jumper works. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's really good.
So yeah, I'm just duplicating and tweaking.
Is there a specular on it, or is it just not sampled enough yet?
There's a bit of specular on it, so it's like dark, like heavier in the thing.
Looking at it, I think it's just a bit too extreme in this guy.
Oh, the specular, I think it's just rendering.
Okay.
I subtracted to make it like, you know, like I can just remove or reduce the subtraction.
Try doing it as a diffuse, but I like the size and shape of everything. I'd say for cloth, specular variation is a bit more minimal. Diffuse variation tends to be a bit higher. Because it's like dyes in the cloth tend to vary more.
It's more like a clay cloth though.
Oh, it is a clay cloth, yeah, that's a good point.
Or like a plaster par, you know, like a plaster Paris.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. I'm having two different meshes at the moment. Why? Oh, did you already do some detailing before? So I haven't done detailing before. What I did is I sculpted a first pass in. I sculpted a first pass in ZBrush, and now what I'm doing is I'm projecting the retopologized mesh. So I'm trying to recover as much detail as I can from that original sculpt. I won't be able to get everything. But I want to get as much as I can, and this morph brush thing that I'm doing at the moment is just to fix areas where, you know, the sculpt I didn't do the inside of the eye cavity, for example. So I need to go in and, like, if I can, make sure that I'm not getting too many artifacts in there, because it's going to try to project to a sculpt which shouldn't have been there. So it will get like really confused. It will distort the UVs and all that stuff. So you're going to reproject those details onto a new mesh from Maya. Yeah, basically, I'm trying to recover as much as I can from that original sculpt. You know, there's a lot of forms that were in the sculpt that I wouldn't get otherwise. Let's round that out. Although some stuff I will rebuild. So I think the eyelids, mostly, I'll rebuild from scratch. Just because now that I have topology, it's easier to sculpt than it was before. So I can do that, and that to me, like, other than missing some detailing, feels a fair bit better, although maybe not. Let's do that. So I'm just looking for areas like this one where it's just completely broken.
You're completely broken.
Thanks.
Real.
I come from a broken home, so
You're not wrong.
my mum did a fantastic job there.
I hate in Arnold that whenever you try to like move, you know, your little region map, it selects the geometry and it's like, no, I want to move the map, not set the fucking geometry, dick. Thank you.
Arnold's making you angry at the moment.
It's just like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Okay, no changes.
Okay, so now I'm going to subdivide one more time. In fact, no, actually. I now just have to sculpt it. So I will end up resculpting a lot of this stuff here. Obviously the arm itself I need to sculpt a hell of a lot on top of. But basically what we'll find is once all this is done, the basic shape, so this, will be slightly different. This will be oh so slightly different from where it was when I brought it into ZBrush. So I'm just trying to get this final position. Yeah, I just want to get this sorted, basically. Nino. So need to be super subtle on that. Technically what I'm doing inside the eye right now really doesn't matter that much, just because it will obviously never be seen. I'm not doing a scene where I gouge this guy's eye out, fortunately. But yeah, I want to get it right, basically. Now we can start doing all that stuff. Let's get this move stronger. Oh, that's not what I want. An issue in my mesh. So now let's pick my favorite color. So I think now we can actually get back into sculpting, basically, because we actually have a mesh in place now. Could probably go a subdivision higher, which would put us at 4.8 million. That point would be a cutoff, but I'm going to leave that for a bit. just because I don't want that many polygons. There's too many polygons at this stage. It's too many polygons at most stages, to be honest. So what I can do now, let's do that. I can inflate the mouth closed. I should probably do that at a lower polygon count, to be honest. That closes the mouth now. That's not what I want. Well, kind of interesting. So let's figure out where the... Oh, quick tip, once you've got UVs on an object, if you're going to use a damn standard brush, make sure to go on and turn the modifier off, just because the modifier will pinch your geometry but not pinch your UVs, which means you get more stretching. It also means that when you bake like a, cracks in stone or something, it almost never comes out right. So I'm just going to figure out where I want this forearm to go. I think somewhere like there is fine. I need to find a breakdown of forearm muscles though, because it's not something I'm particularly familiar with, to be honest. I do remember one thing about anatomy of forearms is that it's more complex than you'd expect. There's a smooth brush. There it is. Don't crash.
No promises.
Good time to drink some water. Drown my sorrows in tap water.
Look like the same with the alcohol.
It's not. Oh, I did it the wrong way. Oh, let's save before. Just sure, project it. Perfect. BST. So I need to add this object as a separate thing. I think we can probably remove this guy now. There's not really much we can gain from him anymore. I don't think it's more detailed in a particular area. Okay, time to go to him. It's a new era. We are now rid of the Dynamesh sculpt. So I need to soften those out, that's for sure. Add some skin. So what we can do now is a quick test where we can export the mesh and the maps and to see how it looks. So let's give that a go. Z plugin. Multi-map exporter. I just want displacement. Export mesh. I want 4K. Flip V. That's fine. Displacement. I want 32-bit XR. That's fair. It should all be fine. And mesh export, level 1. Can't remember if I'm supposed to keep that on or not. Let's find out, shall we? Export options, so create all maps. Textures. I'm not going to do that many versions, let's rename that. Let's leave that going for a second. 9 people viewing at the moment, that's kind of cool. Pretty sure it has to do this once per UDIM, so this might take a little while, guys. Would you like a piece of Easter egg? So how's everyone doing? 10 people watching. The viewership is slowly getting higher, which is quite nice. For anyone who's just joining now, you might be getting some performance issues, just because ZBrush is eating up my CPU, I think. But I'm just currently baking out some displacement maps. I think I'm on the 5th UDIM now, so it should be about 2 or 3 more minutes.
My scene crashed.
Hmm?
My scene crashed. My scene.
I've had 2 people drop out since I started
Baking?
baking. Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
I think this is the last UDIM now. Should be done.
Sorry.
I hope it's the last UDIM.
I wish mine would just crash, but you know, like actually crash. I find mine not hangs, but you know what I mean. It like it doesn't crash, so it can't like do a temp file. You know what I mean? So it like freezes, and then it's like, waha.
It's like ultra crash. I'm gonna grab some more water. Do you want
No.
that's water? Drink the health.
No.
I drink the health so I can eat the unhealth. That's how that works.
finished yet?
Nope. Of course not.
Why would it be? No.
If this is how long it takes to do with UDIMs, I'm going to export less often. Maybe I'll work on textures before going too far in Sculpt.
That seems like a bit pointless, especially if you need to do more detail.
What, doing textures?
Yeah.
Well, if I'm using like cavity maps and stuff, I can always have that as a procedural layer. So I can just load it in after.
Anytime you say cavity, I think McCavity, and I'm like, McCavity.
A cavity. The evil cat.
Isn't that songs? Because it doesn't make any fucking sense.
None of the songs make sense.
No, I mean the whole movie don't make sense.
The whole movie don't make sense.
The English language don't make no sense.
That makes sense good.
That makes sense good.
You're cute, by the way.
Thanks!
Thanks. Can you do it in a higher pitch voice next time, please?
Thanks!
Oh, we lost another viewer.
Oh.
People are getting really bored of baking.
But
Me too.
Delicious.
Oh, this mesh is called output 5, so maybe that's Fifudum.
Ooh.
Or maybe it's... Does it start from 0? That's the question.
Let's say tonight's gonna be a
Good night.
Ooh.
Your singing is beautiful.
Why are you being a fuck? Sorry. I'm clicking on you, and you're not showing me
It exported. Took 8 minutes and 58 seconds. That was a very long 10 minutes. Right, let me save this guy.
Oh, something is definitely fucked up in this scene. Oh, fixed him. Don't know what fixed, but fixed him. Right.
You should know what you fixed.
No, it broke like my entire scene. Just
So,
fucked
no.
itself. Like it was
That's-
crazy.
I'm a Rowan Creature 12. Why is this not up to date? Why is it saving these? I'll find out later.
Did you just smack the wall?
No, I was accidentally punched my lap on. But a comment on my thing. Do you actually have a nice pub around where you can go jam sessions? I've seen you play guitar and like jazz. Because I've still got guitar videos on my YouTube channel.
I love that people are creeping me for your guitar videos. I really like that. Can you please creep them more?
Don't creep me more. You'll not like what you find.
Just notice the changes of the VFX artist as the fluctuation of the weight goes up and down as the stressy spaghetti goes up and down.
Well, they won't find that in YouTube.
Is there no videos of you playing guitar?
No videos where you can see me.
Not when you're even a little bit tall.
Nope. So
What the?
fuck you, my dude.
Fuck.
Right, let's get this guy. Oh wait, no, that's not what I want to do. Ooh, that's an interesting problem. So I'm going to have to transfer UVs. That's going to get very confusing. Okay, I need to find out what the pipeline is for that. So this displacement map won't work perfectly because the mesh is going to be in the wrong places in a few areas. But let's try setting that up. So let's go into, is there a look dev one? No? Is it rendering standard? What? That's not what I want. There has to be a look dev one, surely. New editing, post, sculpting, modeling, expert modeling, rigging animation. Alright, let's just do my classic. Create my own. Panels, hypershade. So let's see if I can remember how to do this. So assign the skin material that I made. Close you. Close you. Don't need you anymore. So just as a baseline, let's do a quick render. So this will be, let's get renderman on there. I want to trace displacement, cap on clock. I want to save the scene. So we'll do a baseline render to see if the displacement's actually working. So renderman. What?
The hat.
The hat?
It was really funny.
What hat? Oh, your character.
Something must have I must have duplicated it at one point, or I hid. I can't tell which. Or I hid part of it, and I must have unhid it. And it's really funny because it's like I was like, why is this fucking up? And I realized.
What did you realize?
That.
Shall I come and have a look?
No, it's fine. I moved the hat up so I could see under his head, and it is hilarious.
Also, I love that Sean's comment on my post is just thanks for not using an apostrophe on UVs.
I'm a little bit annoyed, but I'm not really.
Why?
Oh no, I was like, oh, I'm so smart. But then I wasn't.
Then you found out you weren't. Sad.
Because I was petrified. Did you see that Buzu was on?
Yeah, it was on BBC News, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Because we cool.
Buzu's a great company.
We are awesome. I've only been there for a very short period of time.
I'm gonna take my share of the credit.
No, I didn't do anything. They're just awesome.
So I need to add the caruncle, which is a separate model.
Who what on it?
Caruncle. I had to Google the name to make sure it's correct, but yeah, caruncle. It's that little bit there. Becca. It's that little bit there. It's not in my model right now. Although I kind of like the bird-like thing that this makes, because it's like a beak. Hey look, it's like a little beak here. Great big eye on the side of its head. This is enough for us to check if displacement is working, so let's leave it there. Come on. Unrender. Put some SSS. I will add some subsurface once I've got displacement working. I don't like to add subsurface before I've put displacement on, because it tends to flatten everything way out. And I don't want to do that yet. I will do though, don't worry. I've just got a fair bit of modelling to do before I start doing that. I don't like adding it until I'm finished with the model pretty much. Obviously, once you add subsurface, you tweak your displacement again. But this stage is too early. So let's make a PXR displacement. I'm also going to move my Wacom while I do this. Ooh. Ooh. Zest. No, me neither. Right, so we got this guy. Said we got this guy. Shader group. Renderman. We can delete him now. Then let's create a PXR texture. Oh, not PZR, PXR texture. So, how do we use UDIMs? I think it's Atlas style, right? There we go. RGB, so result R is fine. And then I need to get the file name. Model, ZBrush exports, textures.
Ow!
You okay?
Cramp.
Cramp. It's not good. I don't need to linearize it. So let's create a... Will that funny hair geo help you in your grooming process? Yes, it will. So let me just quickly concentrate on this. I use it as reference, like physical reference, for placing guides. With RST, so this is texture UVs. I need to double check that's what it's called. UV set editor. Texture UVs, cool. So, in theory, that should work now. Let me turn on interactive. Or incremental, sorry. It won't work right away, it has to convert the maps to text first. Beautiful. Hey, Becca.
Wow.
Oh, wow. It looks like the UV is not working yet. So. How do I do this? Debug mode. What am I getting an error for?
Everything.
So, I think we're back now.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Stream's back up. We had another one of those like super crashes where everything breaks. So I need to kill off blue jeans again. I need to kill off flux. I need to open the scene. Model. So I don't think I saved. Oh, I did. Perfect. So my displacement wasn't set up. PXR displace. Minimum displacement. Create a PXR texture again. Gain is set to 1, that's good. You need to plug into SUG stuff, projects, person projects, renderman. No, it's not where I want to go. Model, ZBrush exports, textures. So in this case, I still don't want text files. I need the text manager. get those to convert. I'm just gonna pick that guy as well. Cool, texture type. Cool. So that's all those converted. So I don't actually know how to do this. Let's try this. So something I need to do before I move on is find a way to limit the amount of cores it uses, because I got a feeling it's using too many cores, which is why I'm getting the crashes. Render threads, batch threads. Of preview IPR rendering threads, a negative number means okay, so let's set that to -6, so I have a few cores left, and then let's set this to a negative number as well, -4. Local queue, that's fine. Save. Okay, let's save this. Right, hopefully this time it doesn't crash.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers are indeed crossed. That's the wrong camera. So let's go to you. It's set to render cam. That's weird how that's not working. Okay, well it's not inflating loads, so something's right. Oh, I haven't assigned let that die. You can actually assign CPU cores in Task Manager. Oh, that's cool. What, as in like restricts them from being used by programs, or? Why is this? Why is it rendering so far away? I mean, displacement's doing something. That's why. Although I still don't know why it's rendering so far away. I need to add the manifold to put it on the correct pixel manifold. And then texture UVs. I'll have to look into how to do that, but that sounds pretty promising. Thank you. I'll be ending the stream pretty soon, guys. If the stream crashes again, because there is an offset, so you guys won't know when it's about to crash. I mean, I don't either, but I can't warn you guys. If it crashes again, what I'll do is I'll come back on, but I'll pretty much immediately end the stream. So if the stream very suddenly ends, that's why. I've just got a strong feeling that it's going to crash again. It's using the face tile on all of them. Did I not set the settings correctly? Hey Becca, do you want some nightmares? Yeah. He's wearing his face. I'm gonna save that image actually. That's a blooper reel image if I've ever seen one. Let me just get the snipping tool. Windows accessories, snipping tool. Save as. Also, you can assign tasks different priorities. So you can say OBS has high priority than mine, so OBS always gets process power first. Complete these tasks. Just how we keep stream. Oh, that's kind of cool. All right, yeah, I'll look into how to do that tomorrow for sure. That's a really good idea, though. Thank you. So Atlas style. Let's set this to ZBrush. So now, in theory, this should work. It's going to be too strong, but that's fine. Oh, and now the camera works. I think. Or is this just inflating again? I think it's just inflating again. What if I rename it? I think this this tile is causing the issues. Maybe that will help. So it's not detecting it. Let me try manually renaming the files. A bit gross, but if it works, it works. Textures. Oh, it's starting from U1. I don't think that will fix it, but so that's not working yet. Renderman, ZBrush, UDEMs. Bring that in, huh? Okay. So what does that have to be replaced with? Just gonna put this back on the other screen. Underscore map ID underscore. So let's put that back to ZBrush. Save again. Try that again. That's changed, hasn't it? It hasn't. Aha. I think it's working now. Obviously it's cranked up, but it's cranked way up. But I think that's what it needs. That's using the right thing. Okay, cool. So for some reason, RenderMan interprets UV tiles from ZBrush as mud blocks. So maybe they just fucked up. Let's set that to 1. And run preview. Ace is yay and nay. I don't personally use it, but yay in total. So I just need to see if this is working. Looks like it is. We've got some details in there that I don't think are in the mesh. We got some splitting here, I think, unless that's the hair. It's probably the hair because it lines up with this actually. Looks like it's working. Let me turn off displacement now. And then I'm going to end the stream once so that I know if this is working or not. It's super weird that it expects mudbox naming for ZBrush. Unless maybe my UVs are offset by a tile, which could be a problem. Okay, so go into my displace, set this to 0, RenderMan, preview, and let's just see if it's different from that previous render. Yeah, it is. Alright, cool, so our displacement's working now. Great, alright, so that's where I'm going in the stream. I'll hold on for a minute or two if anyone has any questions, although obviously, as you've seen, I've been kind of like fooling my way through this. So probably not the best person to ask about this sort of stuff. But it looks like we got it, which is great. This is actually terrifying. Cool. I'm gonna kill the render there. That's gonna make necessary workflow. Yeah, no problem, man. Just need to set this back to 1 so I can save, and then I'm done. Yeah, I guess I'm due to stream tomorrow because tomorrow's Thursday. I'll have a break on Friday probably. But yeah, so tomorrow we'll just kind of continue doing some sculpting. I may have to bring in the model from ZBrush and like transfer the UVs or maybe blend shape, just so we've got the exact same model so that our topology matches between sculpt and the not sculpt. But yeah, cool. Right, well, I'm going to end the stream here, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow if you want to come by again. Bye.